Hey everybody, it's Maya, and today we are doing an exciting video. If you notice this look, that means I successfully recreated the look that Selena Gomez had done on herself from her makeup artist Hung Vanngo. And I was really interested with that look, and I liked the way it looked on her, and I love Selena Gomez, so I wanted to recreate it myself. It is just two looks for one day. So like for the daytime, you start off with your nice summery daytime look, and then as it goes on to the night, you just add a little bit more makeup on so you can turn into this. And I think I did a pretty decent job. I wouldn't say perfect, but I think I did an okay job. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing how I created this look and all of that, then just keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing he did in the video was he added, well, she already had moisturizer on her face, and I already went ahead and did some eyeshadow primer as well. I don't think he mentioned it, but I did put some on my eyes. So the first thing that he did was he used two primers on Selena. He used her pore diffusing primer, which is this one right here. Just smooths out your skin and mattifies it. And he also used her, I forgot what it's called, but it was like her dewy primer that makes your skin illuminating. I do not have that. I don't like to use primers that are illuminating, but I'm going to apply the poreless primer only on the T-zone of my face, just like he did for Selena, just in the parts that I get the most oily, and really put that where I get oily. And he seemed to skip the edges of her face, so I'm gonna like do that too. So the next thing that he did was he applied foundation. She's wearing the shade 150C. I have the shade 180W. He applied it with his fingers, like dots all over her face. So what I usually do with this foundation, if you guys watch my channel, you already know I do 1, 2, 3, and 4 dots on my face. He seems to apply them all over the face, and then he blends it out with a sponge. So I'm going to do that. A nice amount of that on the back of the hand, like that, and then just pick it up with my fingers. I don't apply foundation this way because this foundation is very light. He takes a sponge and he then blends it out with, like that, so I'm gonna do that too. So the foundation actually looks undetectable on the skin. It usually always looks undetectable, but I usually apply it with the Rare Beauty foundation brush, this one right here. I always apply my foundation with that, but I used to use a sponge all the time, and then I stopped because I like the brush a lot more. But this is just extra light, and it really feels like nothing is sitting on my skin. It doesn't look like anything is sitting on the skin at all. So yeah, that's cool, but it does look very light coveraged, nothing too heavy, nothing crazy, so yeah. So for the next part, the concealer, he takes a lot of concealer on her. That's like the same places I apply my concealer, but I don't apply that much. I usually do a little bit, so I'm just gonna do that. So he does a whole bunch underneath the eyes. And it just looks like he just swiped it on like this. And then he also brought it down the sides of the nose and underneath the nose and a little bit on the chin. That looks crazy. And then he just blends that out with a sponge as well, so surprisingly it blends out nicely though. Looking up close, my skin looks flawless once again. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Can't see the makeup sitting on it. It just added coverage where you needed it and brightened up the areas. So next they go in with bronzer, and they have a cream bronzer. I don't have the one that they have, But I am going to be using my Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer in the shade Butter Biscuit or Butta Biscuit. And he uses the Rare Beauty foundation brush for this. And he applies bronzer in a way I've never really seen it before. So what he first does is he takes the bronzer and he starts, it's a lot, and he starts off by bringing that on the jawline, which I don't really do because I don't like to, I don't know, I just don't do that. And then he takes it on the cheekbone as well, which is obviously what I do. So jawline, cheekbone, and then he set around the hairline as well. So just in your standard bronzer places, but the jawline I typically don't do. I'm just gonna blend that down my neck so it doesn't look like a harsh line. So I'm just really gonna pack it on my cheek like he is for her. Thing on this side, jawline, cheekbone. And this is where you really have to cater it to your own face shape. Obviously, Selena has a very round face. I have a round face, like I have chubby cheeks, but it's more oval than, it's like a little bit longer than hers is. So keep that in mind if you're recreating this. Tailor it to your own face shape. So next he goes in with powder with a brush. I usually apply powder with a sponge, but I'll do it with a brush. So I'm just gonna give that a swirl. Set underneath my eyes, and he does use his finger to get rid of those creases before he sets. I know later in this video we will be using more cream products, so I didn't do too much powder because, yeah. But now what he does, he sets the bronzer with a powder bronzer. So I don't have that exact one again, so I have my PYT one. I'm going to be using the matte side because he has a mattifying bronzer. Just go over that with a fluffy brush to set the bronzer. It has the Rare Beauty melting blush in the shade Nearly Mauve, which I do have. It's this, and he just picks up some on one side, and he dips in quite a few times. He just applies that right over top of the bronzer, right on the highest point. He doesn't really go in the middle, he kind of takes it higher. I typically like to apply blush all over the cheek, so this is very different for me. I apply it here and up, but he's only applying it on the outsides. So before he goes in with the eye makeup, he goes in with the lips, and he uses the Rare Beauty lip balm gloss in the shade Nearly Rose, and he really just layers it on there. He dips in quite a few times, and I love this color gloss. My jaw just popped. I really hope you guys heard that. And he also overlines with the gloss rather than going with the lip liner. He just takes it slightly above. And this applicator is really good for applying like that. It's cute. Okay, so next he goes in with the Rare Beauty liquid eyeshadow. He has the shade Nearly Neutral. I only have rose or mauve, so I did rose because it looks the most similar to the neutral shade. So what he does is he picks up the product on the brush instead of applying it to the eyes. So I'm going to do that too. So he just picks it up and he sweeps it on the eyes and just really blows it out. I really do love these eyeshadows. They are really easy to work with, very beginner friendly, and yeah. something like that. I obviously don't have the same eye shape as Selena, so it's not gonna look exact, but working with what I got. Okay, these are the eyes. And then he goes in with mascara and he applies one coat to the top and the bottom of her lashes. So I'm going to do that as well. I feel a little bit naked without my eyeliner, but I mean, it still looks pretty good. Next, he goes in with the highlight. I don't have the same shade as her. I have the shade Enlighten. She's using the shade Mesmerize. But he does take a brush again. I like sponges with this stuff, but he's using brushes. And he just takes a little bit of that and applies it to the high points. And he also picks up the highlighter with a brush as well. So I'm gonna do that. My brush is too wet, so I'm just gonna paint that on like he is with hers. Mine's gonna be a little bit more blinding because it is a lighter shade. I do like this technique though with the highlight. Oh, well, I actually do prefer this brush now with the highlight, like applying it to the brush. That blends it out really easily and looks really subtle. And it also takes it down the nose as well. And that is it for look number 1. This is the day summertime look. So you could just go out and about in this makeup, and I definitely would. I really do feel pretty in this makeup. It's really glowy, very summery with the colors and the lips. Just embrace it. And now we're going to move on to look number 2. But we were just adding on to this. So if you were wearing this in the daytime and you wanted to go out with your friends or just have a date night or whatever, you could just add on and have a more night look. So yeah, I'm going to take off the gloss because he does change out her lip color a little bit later and I'm going to be drinking my coffee. So what he does is he takes the Rare Beauty True to Myself palette, this one right here, and I do have a review of this on my channel. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I like it, but it does cause me a little bit of issues. It just, I'm going to try to redeem myself today. So what he does, he takes this orange shade right here, and he starts off by placing that underneath her eyes. So, oh, it's actually really cute. Wow. And then he just goes over the entire liquid eyeshadow with the same orange shade all over the lid as well. So I'm going to do that. And just starts at the end and just brings it, blows it out like he did on the original shade that we had there. So now this next part I'm a little bit concerned about because I don't like to play with dark colors and the shape he's doing on her eyes. I really hope it looks good on my shape. So he's just doing a inner V here and an outer V here. Just going to pick up a little bit of that and he places that in the inner corner. I don't like I like light colors in the inner corner, so this is really weird for me. It's not really coming up though. I should pick up more on my brush. And I'm not doing it as harsh because I am working with my eye shape, and doing those dark inner corners doesn't really flatter me as much. But it definitely did deepen it up. I feel like a bird right now. I don't know why. So okay. I think that's pretty much it. And then he goes back in with that apricot shade and just blends everything out. I was harshing it again. Hers definitely looks a lot darker than mine, but I'm going to leave mine like this because going dark kind of scares me. And then next they go in with that glitter shade in the middle, which I do have some concerns about, but I'm ready to see if it has improved since I last used it. A nice amount, and so I'm stamping it. Okay, that's like stunning. I do have I had issues with fallout with this glitter shade, but I'm gonna try not to do that today. Wow, that is a whole ASS shade. That's so pretty. Okay, I might have to change my review a little bit. This is what we are left with for the eyes. That is so pretty. I love that glitter shade. It's not like it's not as messy as it was before. So I actually really like that. And now they just go in with the brows again, and he just starts defining them. So I'm gonna take my brow pencil and do what I usually do, because me and her don't have the same brows. And then for the eyes, he takes this cute shade right here and he highlights the inner corner and bottom as well. And then the final step in this whole makeup routine is the lips. I do not have that bright orange. I do not have the lip shade that she's using, but I can create it with my Pixie Cream Rouge palette. It's my last video I just uploaded. So I'm going to swatch a few of them and see. That one actually looks exactly like it, so I'm going to do that. So yeah, that's the shade Smooch. So I'm just going to pick up that and but this look turned out really pretty. I actually do like the eyes now without the eyeliner too, because the smokiness kind of looks like eyeliner. And yeah, this is the finished summer day to night look. What do you guys think? Did I do a good job recreating this in my own way? Like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to me. I post new videos every single week, and I would love it if you joined my little family here. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I will see you guys next week.